Hey, good morning, y'all.
Good morning, everyone.
Missing Fabio here. We wanted to visit with you guys a little bit about what's happening in our world right now. And Fabio has been struggling with some transactions. And, we're thinking, is it just us? Is the struggle just us? Or are
No,
all the other real estate agents? It's a hard market.
right now it's happening to everybody. That's the problem that you start kind of wondering yourself,
Hmm.
oh my God, am I doing wrong? But you've been doing the same thing. And I think it's just the mindset that you have to kind of change because
Yeah,
it's all of negative with a new business model that we're going to have now, which is it's going to be, I think it's going to be the best for everybody. It's going to be
absolutely.
very clear for everybody. And, but still, they don't know really the final document that's going to happen.
Well, it's going to take forever because obviously every state is different.
Yeah.
Every state has different guidelines. Every state, and you guys were referring to the new buyer rep agreement, or the guidelines are going to be set in place by our each state.
Yeah.
So it's supposedly promoting transparency, which I'm not so sure how not putting the buyer agent compensation in the MLS promotes transparency. But you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And we all need to just be able to tell our buyers exactly where we get compensated from, give them options, and still make it work. People are still going to need roofs over their heads.
I think it just really what happened is we've been doing it for so many years, but I think it's there's a lot of agents they haven't done that before. This is when I'm working with a lot of buyers, so I have a consultation before I show any house. I talk to them, I check and I explain to them all the expenses that they're gonna have. That's the way it is,
Well, you've been doing it and
Yeah.
I've been doing it, but now just because it wasn't mandatory, half the country wasn't doing it this way. And I think people felt that they just didn't know everything up front. They didn't understand the other expenses that are going to be incurred.
Yeah.
And I think working super closely with a lender is huge.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk numbers. I really don't want to know your whole finances set up. I would prefer to my mission is to find you a home. So bringing that third party in that's educated, that can talk numbers and all the different options. There's not just one way. There's going to be multiple ways that buyers can afford buyer representation. And we really want to make it fair to everybody because they're going to be people that can't afford it. So they're going to be excluded. Those are the people that more than anything need buyer
Yes.
representation.
And I would say that was happened more in my community. It's a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, my cousin told me that I can get I bought the house this way or this way."
Right.
Everybody's a different case.
It's a word of mouth.
Yeah, it
your,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really everybody's a different case, and you have to let the professional to check your numbers and see what's going on. I have right now a client that he's really a good credit score. I mean, saving that he have a lot of saving, but he want to be an investor. He want to buy a second home,
Okay.
but the only program that he could get was 9%, something like that. Because because what happened, he didn't make enough money to take care of his house that he owns and the new one. So that's something that sometimes is different from somebody else. Maybe another investor, you're going to say, "Oh, but I get like a 2%, 5%, 6%, 8%." I don't know.
Well, every income level, every household is different for what you're going to qualify. And that's why I always tell people, don't wait until the month you want to start looking for a home. Go ahead and start 6 months ahead or a year ahead, because every little bit of points and differences you make in your credit score helps you get a better loan product. So if you reach out ahead to Fabio or a local lender, please, you all do not go online and just Google, VA loan process or loans. You guys will get inundated with bogus stuff and people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear to take advantage of you. You have to have a trusted local lender and a real estate agent that you can work with.
Let me explain to you what happens to me right now. I have a couple that very nice. They bought, this is the second house they bought with me. Well, they were really close, almost a week to close the deal. So my client, his wife, decided to help her sister to buy another house.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. So they got what you call an internet loan officer, big company that we know.
Space rocket.
I don't want to say it, but anyway, and well, they find out. They say, "Ooh, We can now, just they denied the loan.
Oh my gosh. And
We
how close to closing were you?
we were talking about 3 days
Oh
after.
Lord. Oh my goodness.
3 days
Oh
after.
my gosh.
So what's going on was I called one of my local lender. I talked to them and explained to him. He checked all the numbers. He said, "Well, what we can do is just get his wife out of the equation,
Oh, okay.
and he can be doing just by himself."
Very cool.
And we're closing today.
Yes. So you guys, we're problem solvers.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how we have to look at everything. But the most important thing right now that we can do up front is to share with you all the things that can happen,
Yeah.
all the problems that might come to surface, or the things that we've lived through, because every transaction is different.
Yeah.
Every single thing is different. Everyone is a learning curve. So don't hesitate to reach out, you guys, and go ahead and at least no obligation. Just ask the question.
Yeah.
Just get started. Don't wait until the last moment and you think, oh, we're ready. We see this house we love and we want to go look at it today and we're going to write an offer on it. No, you won't be ready. 99.9% of the time,
true.
you will not have your act together enough to go ahead and do that.
Because to be honest, everything is about knowledge, information. So you can make a wise decision when you decided to pursue what you want to do, the next step. So you need to do that. Even that, shop around with the lenders, because sometimes, even with a real estate agent, you have to shop around. You have to interview them and ask them questions, because that's the most important. You remember, this is a bigger investment that you're going to make in your whole life.
And it's probably the third most stressful event.
It is.
Getting married, having babies, and buying a house. The most stressful events in your life. And if you don't have somebody that can kind of wrap their arms around you and share their boots on the ground experience, it's going to be awful. It's going to be super, super stressful.
So you have to make sure that you are making the right decision when you're doing what you're going to do.
With the right people.
With the right people.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Okay.